Welcome to this session on the Purina Veterinary Centre personalised nutrition tool. So this is our tailored feeding calculator, and allows you to make personalised plans for your patients. So we're going to start off looking at a cat, and it's going to be a mixed breed medium cat. It's going to be 3 years old, maybe 3.5. It's male, it has been spayed, and its current body weight is 5.2. I'm then going to look at its body condition score. So for this example, I'm going to imagine that the cat is an ideal body condition score. But if it wasn't ideal, we can just click and drag that to change it to a different body condition score. If the animal was overweight, so over that body condition score of ideal, which is the 4 to 5, we would then look at clicking the weight adjustment program, and that's when it would set you up a specific weight adjustment program. This is a healthy adult cat with no underlying clinical condition, so we're not going to use any of this clinical diagnosis and needs section. And then we're just going to go in and pop in the cat's details. So we're going to say that the cat's Tibby. Now, if in your practice your clients have record numbers, you could put the record number in there. If you don't have record numbers, it may be that you just put the postcode for the client, and that will allow you to marry this recommendation up to the client's record and then be downloaded on it as well. So, because it is an adult cat, we're going to be looking at the maintenance diets range. So, we just click on the filter by range, maintenance diets, and then you can see all of the different products within the range it might be suitable for. And that's where you can then look at using the kind of recommendation based on any other information that client has given you. So, if they've maybe said that the animal was a little bit fussy or had a tendency to put on weight or has put on weight previously, you then might look at kind of the different options. It might be that they say that they prefer kind of meat-based flavours rather than fish-based flavours. So you can then kind of work through that with the owner and do it as part of the session. So for this, I'm going to imagine it's a standard adult cat and they like chicken-based products. So I'm going to go for our Renal Plus chicken food. Now, the other thing I want to consider is, does the cat have any wet food as well? So I'm then going to click over onto our wet food, and I'm going to go, yes, it is going to have some wet food. It has been neutered, so I'm going to click on the sterilise. And so you can see both of the products that I've selected have now come down into this selection bar. So then what you've got the ability to do is to use this lever here to be able to say how many pouches per day that owner wants to feed. So if you know the owner prefers to have more of the wet than the dry, you could then just toggle this along to go up on the wet amount, or likewise you can toggle it down to go less on the wet feeding amount. For the purpose of this example, I'm going to say it has 1 pouch per day and the rest of its portion is dry food. So that's then telling me I've got my 1 pouch and then I've got 43 grams of dry food. I can then ask to generate the output and the recommendation that's given. And the nice thing is this is then working out the combination of wet and dry for you. So I'm going to scroll in here so that you can see it in a bit more detail so that it isn't an eye test. So you've got the information that we put in here about Tibby, and then we've got the product recommendation with the feeding guidelines and then the body condition score. You've then got the option of being able to download that or print it if your work computer is already linked to a printer, if you want to give a physical copy to take away. If you want to just download a copy and email that across to the client, you can also do it that way. So that's the example for Tibby, who's a healthy adult cat. So I want to now have a look at another patient, because what we want to try and encourage is that this feeding calculator is something that you have up on your system all the time, and you just kind of do the new one for each patient. So all you need to do, because you can see it's currently still holding Tibby's details, is just go up to the top and press refresh, and that will completely wipe all of the data. So for this example, I'm going to use a dog, and I'm going to say it's a senior dog. And I'm going to say it's maybe 10 years old, it's a male, it has been neutered, and it's an Akita, so it's a big dog. So I'm going to say it's 35 kilos. It's got an ideal body condition score, and it has, I would say, probably less activity per day. So we're going to just scroll that down to the less than 1 hour per day. Now, from a clinical diagnosis point of view, this dog unfortunately has renal disease. So that comes as chronic renal insufficiency. And what you can see automatically on the right hand side is what it's done is it's recommended what is the diet within the range that we could use. But you could also see there's numbers here on the wet tab and the supplement tab that are suggesting there may be options within that as well. So I'm going to put in the dog's details. So I'll put in his name. Again, I'll do the owner's postcode, or in this case, my work postcode. And then I'm going to look at what I'm going to feed Buddy. So my option here is the NF renal function diet. So I'll click on that and that's brought that down here. But if I go across to the wet tab, then it's kind of recommending that he would have the NF of the wet diets as well. So if I click that, that will then say he's going to have a combination of the wet and the dry. And I could also choose that I want Buddy to have Fortiflora as a supplement. And that's maybe to try and help from a palatability point of view. If he's feeling nauseous and not wanting to eat, then Fortiflora could be a really good addition for him. But for the purpose of this, I just wanted to kind of demonstrate how those parts of the tabs work. But for this example, I'm actually going to remove the wet and just have it that Buddy is on dry food only. So we then go down, we've still got our dry food recommendation here, and we generate his plan. So again, you can see all of the information that you've populated about Buddy is detailed up here. But then when you can go down here, it's then recommending how much food Buddy has per day. And if that's split over the 2 meals that we said he has, how much per meal. But it's also giving you the top ways in which this diet is nutritionally working to support those conditions. So again, you can either print or download this so that you can email it across or give it out in person to the client, whatever works for you. And then it's something that could be scanned or saved onto the client's record as well. I hope this has helped. If you have any further queries with the tailored feeding calculator, please email us at vettechline@purina.nestle.com. Thank you so much for your time.